Hello and welcome to another episode of High Voltage. I am your host. I'm Mackenzie Nelson, and I am here with the purpose and intent to help you live fully charged and fully engaged in your present moment. So, all of the shows that I am going to be speaking about are topics that have personally impacted my life and my journey, and just tidbits of wisdom I've picked up along the way that I'm hoping to inject into your life to help you step into your brilliant purpose, because I believe we all have a destiny and a purpose that we are here to fulfill. It's not just for Star Wars, these concepts that I'm speaking about. And today, I want to speak about how our thoughts create the self confidence we feel. How to be confident, right? Like how our thoughts play an impactful part. They are the basis, they're that foundation to which we as people discover who we are. All of the thoughts that we're thinking, the input we're taking in, the content we're reading. These are all decisions that we get to make on a daily basis that are actually building that foundation day after day after day. If this is an ongoing, recurring thing in our journeys where we are each choosing to participate in various activities of our own choosing, and whether we're aware of it or not, we are formulating our thoughts and deciding who we are. It is an active participation that we have control over. I learned so much over the course of the past few years, writing my book, My Father's Feathers, that is now an international bestseller, all started because I had this amazing spiritual encounter overnight that changed my whole life. It changed so much within me. It was like someone hit a reset button on my life and woke me up to what the real things in life are that are important. And to me, that's relationships. Relationships are at the very top of my list now of importance in my life. And that all started because I changed my thought processes. I changed my perspective and the importance that I placed on relationships and the importance that I placed on different areas before I had that encounter. That shift happened, and now I see everything differently. And this is something that you can do as well. You don't need to have your own spiritual encounter. You can simply choose what thoughts you are allowing in your mind and what thoughts you're not. The Bible tells us to hold every thought captive and make it accountable to the truth. And the truth that I believe that Jesus declares is that you're loved, you're worthy, you're worth it. You are so loved, regardless of what you've done in the past or where you're at right now. You are loved, accepted, heard, appreciated, so much more than you can possibly ever imagine or ever know. And my thought processes before this encounter, really I gained 100 pounds, a lot of weight. And a lot of that was rooted in, for me, that I didn't feel worthy, that I was feeling, that I was turning to food for comfort because my thought processes and how I thought about myself was like, you're fat. You're never going to get it under control. None of these things that you want to do, you'll ever be able to accomplish. And the more I listened to those thoughts, the negative thoughts, the more they manifested in my life. And then I became overweight. I was 300 pounds and I'm 6'1" right now. And so as a former athlete, as an all-state basketball player, realizing and understanding that like I never learned how to eat properly. And I was just working out so much that the calories were falling off. But once that ended and I ate the same way, then it became apparent that I was dealing with a weight issue. So when I started to shift this dynamic was when I started to understand how Jesus sees me and how God sees me and how what they say about me trumps what anyone else does. If you've read my book, you know now In my upbringing, my identity was shattered. I felt worthless. I didn't know my biological father. And worse, I was told he was a murderer. He was in the mafia. He killed people. I felt lower than low, less than scum, constantly being compared and contrasted to my siblings who had their biological father in the home. So, ever since I was younger, this narrative became normalized. You don't recognize it when you're in it, right? I like to compare it a lot to like a cult mentality. Like you see a lot of these cults, documentaries on Netflix and whatnot, and you just sit there and wonder, like, how did they not know? Simple. It's simple. They did not know it wasn't normal because it was their everyday experience. When you're surrounded, you're ingrained, you're innately in something so deep, it's normalized to a certain extent. And you just think these thought processes, the way you think about yourself, the way your family sees you, it becomes normalized. For me, I woke up a lot once I got into the business world. I was working for the Red Cross, helping to procure blood donations across central Illinois and further up north. And I saw what a difference I was making in so many people's lives. And I saw I was connecting with other professionals who were looking to help others through blood donation. And it really gave me an inside view of a different thought process. I started to see myself, it started to shift to like, hey, maybe I'm not this worthless person. Maybe I have something of value inside of me that I can help others. And once that seed planted and that thought took form, I never let go. And I trusted God to keep refreshing and renewing my mind and to stay focused on the present moment where God is meeting me and where we are interacting. And that is the place that everything flows from. So I've learned not to let my past define me, not to let those negative thoughts fester and eat away at me. My confidence is not in myself, but it is through God and what He says of me. And that is where I plant myself. And anything that's coming at me, negative or otherwise, from other people, it might hurt me. It might sting, right? Like you get stung by a bee and it's like, oh, that burns, right? And it does, it burns and it makes me, step back a couple steps. And because I'm from that past where I'm predispositioned to think I'm worthless, I might go there. I might go there for a minute or two and be like, hey, I'm stunned, right? I'm in shock. It hurts. The pain, it numbs you in a sense. But when you go back to God with that, when you take it to Him and say, hey, God, this thing happened with this person and I'm feeling pretty worthless. I don't feel like how they treated me, it hurt my heart. He says, well, let's forgive them. First step is forgiveness. And I did a show on this a ways back. Check it out if you want to hear more about this. You forgive the person, right? And that shifts your thoughts there. So once you've decided to forgive someone who's hurt you, you now have successfully shifted your thoughts from feeling victimized to now an offering standpoint of forgiveness. And now love can flow there. And now you can be repositioned in worthiness before the Lord and ready to receive and to give whatever He is giving you, because you're not blocked by that thought process of, I'm going to hold it against someone. So you forgive them. And then you turn to God and you ask Him to heal that wound that was just ripped back open. It could be something from years ago. Maybe you were triggered. Maybe somebody said something that triggered that trauma, and now it feels so fresh, so new. And what was once you thought you moved on from is now you're faced with it again and it feels unfair and you want to get mad. Tell Him about it. God knows you. He created you. He knows your thoughts. He knows everything going on with you. You can talk to Him about anything. Tell Him how you feel. Ask Him to show up. Ask where He's at, and He will make Himself known in your life as He has made Himself known in mine. So always, always be taking your thoughts, your feelings to Him, asking for healing, asking for renewal. And when you hear someone say something about you, or you think a thought that goes against what God says, which is you're loved, you're worthy, you're known, just as you are. There's nothing you have to do to earn it. It's already yours. It's already yours. You take it to him, you take it to the cross, and you say, is this what you have for me? Someone telling me I'm worthless? No, that's not what he thinks about you. So I challenge you right now, if you've got that notepad and that pen handy, jot down some thoughts, because these thoughts, each one of them is comprising and formulating who you are. And from that place is you acting out of that place with that narrative. So if you have an unworthy narrative going on in your thought processes, you don't look good enough, you feel too old, too fat, you feel stupid, this and that. If these are thoughts that are going on inside of your mind, they are impacting, affecting, and they are ruling your life. And so if you're seeing negative outcomes in your life, I can guarantee in a lot of instances, you're partaking in relationships where trust has been broken because you don't feel worthy. You don't feel worthy enough to partner yourself with trustworthy people in relationships. And it all starts here. It all starts here. It starts with a thought and it goes to your heart, then you speak it out of your mouth, and then it becomes real. It becomes concrete. It manifests. Your thoughts manifest. So change your thoughts, change your life, guys. So if what you've written down right now is anything less than loved, worthy, known exactly as you are, throw it out. Get rid of it. Declutter your mind. Say, I'm not going to listen to that anymore. And the more you do this, the more you practice in the present moment, that loved, known, worthy narrative, the more you live with intention in a space of worthiness, the more that's going to manifest in your life. And the more you're going to understand who you really were meant to be. And the more your purpose and your destiny roll out before you. And everything changes. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. But reach out, hit me up, MackenzieKNelson.com. I'd love to hear from you guys. And thank you so much for being here for another episode. I'll keep bringing the shows to you. Have a great day, guys.